Some avoidants do not chase love, they chase relief. That is the contradiction many people do not understand. A person may avoid intimacy, repair, vulnerability, accountability, and emotional truth, but still chase attention, fantasy, flirting, scrolling, work, drama, busyness, shopping, food, alcohol, or anything that gives stimulation without exposure. That is the pattern. They avoid depth, but they chase dopamine. Now let me be clear. This does not mean every avoidant person is reckless, selfish, lazy, or addicted to pleasure. And it does not mean dopamine is evil. Everyone has dopamine. Dopamine is part of motivation, anticipation, reward, and seeking. The issue is not dopamine itself. The issue is when dopamine becomes a substitute for intimacy, repair, responsibility, and self-command. Because avoidant patterns can create a strange contradiction. The person pulls away from healthy love, but keeps reaching for shallow stimulation. Why? Because healthy love requires presence. Dopamine loops offer relief without repair. A healthy relationship asks, can you be vulnerable? Can you tell the truth? Can you repair when you caused pain? Can you stay present when closeness feels uncomfortable? Can you let someone see you without running? Can you be accountable without collapsing into shame? Can you stop calling distance peace when it is really avoidance? But the avoidant nervous system may hear those questions as danger, not opportunity. Danger, not intimacy. Threat, not repair. Exposure. So the body pulls away, it shuts down, it withdraws, it distances, it avoids the conversation, it avoids the mirror, it avoids the person who asks for emotional truth. But the body still wants regulation, it still wants relief, it still wants reward, it still wants something that changes the internal state. So the avoidant may chase something easier. A new message, a fantasy, a flirtation, a distraction, a busy schedule, a work obsession, a social media loop, a private escape, a shallow connection that asks nothing from the wound. That is why some people can reject a stable, loving person, but still light up for a dopamine loop. Not because the loop is better, because the loop is safer. A healthy relationship asks them to be seen, but the dopamine loop lets them disappear. That is the difference. The stable person may ask for consistency. The dopamine loop asks for nothing. The stable person may ask for repair. The dopamine loop offers escape. The stable person may reflect the wound. The dopamine loop distracts from the wound. The stable person may require emotional maturity. The dopamine loop gives quick relief without growth. So the avoidant pattern says, choose the thing that does not expose you. Choose the thing that does not require repair. Choose the thing that does not ask for vulnerability. Choose the thing that does not challenge the mask. Choose reward without exposure. That is dopamine without depth. And this is where Stoicism 2.0 becomes necessary. Because generic advice says, just stop chasing distractions. Just stop scrolling. Just stop flirting. Just stop drinking. Just stop working so much. Just stop running. But Stoicism 2.0 asks, what pattern is the distraction protecting? What feeling is the stimulation helping you avoid? What truth would appear if the dopamine loop disappeared? What repair would you have to face if the escape was removed? What relationship with yourself are you avoiding? Because the behavior is not the whole story. The loop is not the root. The stimulation is not the root. The dopamine is not the root. The subconscious pattern underneath it is the root. The hidden script may say, if I get too close, I will be trapped. If I am truly seen, I will be exposed. If I repair, I must admit I caused harm. If I need someone, I am weak. If I slow down, I will feel the emptiness. If I stop distracting myself, I will have to face what I have avoided. So the nervous system chooses relief. Not because relief is wisdom, but because relief is familiar. And familiar can feel safer than free. That is why a person can know they need to change and still keep repeating the loop. They are not always chasing pleasure. Sometimes they are chasing escape from emotional responsibility. They are not always chasing love. Sometimes they are chasing regulation. They are not always choosing happiness. Sometimes they are choosing numbness with better lighting. And this is where moral clarity matters. The wound may explain why closeness feels threatening, but it does not excuse using people as stimulation. It does not excuse keeping someone emotionally attached while refusing repair. It does not excuse replacing intimacy with attention. It does not excuse collecting validation while avoiding responsibility. It does not excuse calling escape peace. Compassion for the wound. Accountability for the behavior. Because if someone uses flirting to avoid repair, that is not freedom. If someone uses work to avoid intimacy, that is not discipline. If someone uses busyness to avoid truth, that is not ambition. If someone uses spirituality to avoid accountability, that is not enlightenment. If someone uses independence to avoid vulnerability, that is not strength. And if someone uses dopamine to avoid depth, that is not command. That is escape. The Stoic does not ask, "What gives me the fastest relief?" He asks, "What builds my character? What restores my command? What truth am I avoiding? What repair am I postponing? What stimulation am I using so I do not have to face myself?" That is the turning point. Because real self-command is not the ability to chase whatever gives relief. Real self-command is the ability to stay present when relief is trying to pull you away from truth. The Stoic does not worship the urge. He studies it. He names it. He disciplines it. He asks, why does this feel so urgent? What am I escaping? What discomfort am I refusing to metabolize? What deeper responsibility is hiding underneath this craving? That is how the loop starts to lose power. Not by hating dopamine, not by shaming desire, not by pretending the body has no needs, but by refusing to let stimulation become the master. A healthy relationship asks you to be seen. A dopamine loop lets you disappear. A healthy relationship asks for repair. A dopamine loop lets you postpone it. A healthy relationship asks for truth. A dopamine loop offers distraction. A healthy relationship asks for maturity. A dopamine loop offers temporary relief. That is why the avoidant pattern must be named. Because the danger is not only losing a relationship, the danger is training your whole life around escape. One distraction at a time. One fantasy at a time. One shallow reward at a time. One avoided repair at a time. One missed opportunity for depth at a time. Until the person does not just avoid love, they avoid becoming fully alive. That is the leak. Not just the avoidance, not just the dopamine, not just the distraction. The subconscious pattern underneath the behavior. A leak is any repeated pattern that drains your energy, weakens your judgment, and makes you easier to govern by fear, approval, ambiguity, or stimulation. Take the free nervous system audit. Stop guessing. Name the pattern before your nervous system keeps obeying it. This is Stoicism 2.0.